Hi folks, Scott from IT Rockstars. In this episode, we're going to be discussing email marketing for your IT business and a little bit of a conversation that I got into with a few other MSPs on a well-known community forum in the MSP space. So my personal experience with email marketing, I've been doing it for about 6 years now, and it works really well if you build a list organically. When I mean organically, I mean basically people opt into your list. So they join your list via either like a lead magnet on your website. They might have heard of you and they go to your website and they maybe want to be part of the newsletter. That's how I built my list. It's pretty much purely organics. People that have found me, they found a lead magnet that I have, maybe read one of the books that I've published, and there's a URL in most of my books that takes you to the newsletter or a download or something like that, and that's how they get into the list. And that works really well. So I try to send out a weekly email or a bi-weekly email to that list. There's usually a little bit of a personal story, just so it's not bland, basically. And then some really useful information for them on a marketing technique, strategy, or story in the space that I operate in, something that's going to be useful for them. And then obviously have the offer at the end, or to our service. And within that, I'll maybe link to a video that we've done or a blog post, and that really gets more eyeballs on the blog post and the video, and that works really well. One of the tactics that I use quite often when it comes to video is, as opposed to linking to like the YouTube video of my content, I'll actually link to the Facebook video of my content. It's a little bit different, and I always warn the reader of the email that this is a Facebook video. The main reason for doing that is so that I can retarget them with ads. So if they click on the link, they watch part of the video, because they watched that video on my Facebook account, on the IT Rockstars account, they then automatically get added into an audience on Facebook, and I can remarket to them. You can do the same thing in YouTube, but I just don't like YouTube for remarketing. I find that it doesn't work as well as Facebook and Instagram. Anyway, the conversation that I had with this MSP are really more of an opinion than anything else. So there's an MSP that's doing really well with cold email. So they're buying basically burner domains. They're acquiring a list of email addresses of their ideal prospects. They're buying this data. I'm not fully aware of the process that they're going in here, but they're buying these burner domains, and then they're basically what I would class as spamming a list of data, and getting them to take some form of action. And a lot of people seem to really like this approach because it's actually getting results for them. So they're getting sales appointments in the diary. But my opinion of the cold email, and I have basically just called it spam because that is really what it is. And to tell you the truth, when I get someone that lands in my inbox and I've never heard of them, I tend to press the junk button. So, and that's what most of us do. So I could see like the attraction to it, but from the perspective of a managed service provider or an IT service provider, I would be thinking again about this tactic. And that's because part of your stack, part of your service, you're probably offering some form of email filtering, some form of anti-spam solution in your service, in your solution. So you're basically spamming people to sell them an anti-spam solution. That was my logic behind this. And again, a few replies, people saying, it's this is business, Scott. You're allowed to do this in business, and you can go and cold call someone, or if it's a business email address, you can go and solicit for the business. That's how business is done. Because if they had laws against all that type of stuff, no one would be able to do business. And I'm like, well, I still just don't think it's right when it comes to an MSP, because you're spamming people. Then you're enabling a spam filter so that prospect doesn't get spammed. It's a bit like, the analogy that I had in my head that I was going to reply with. And, it's like, oh, there's a fire in your house that I've helped start. Would you like me to sell you a fire extinguisher? It's kind of that logic that I've got with it. So it just doesn't doesn't sit well with me, and there's much better ways to grow an organic list of emails, things like a lead magnet, publishing a book, something that are very valuable resource that people are going to go and give you their email address for. That's the better way to do it. The way that works for me just now, like the way that I build my list, is via meta ads, so Facebook ads. So I pay money to Facebook. I spend about $10 per lead, and in return, I get a lead back, someone that wants to go to one of the webinars that we run here at IT Rockstars on a sort of usually a fortnightly basis. We run these webinars. So we're promoting a live event. It's a webinar. We're getting that email, and then in return, we can then remarket to that person that's attended the webinar. We can follow up with them. We can hopefully build a relationship in the webinar itself, give them some value, and eventually they'll buy from us. So I think that's just a much better way of doing it than buying data and then spamming that data. Anyway, that's it for just now. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. So if you're listening to the podcast, just email me, scott@itrockstars.co.uk. Or if you're watching this on social media somewhere, leave a comment below. I'd love to know what your opinion is. Take it easy.